Excuse me. Hello, everyone. Let me see on my phone how many people is in here because I don't know. I didn't even get a notification. So I have no idea. Oh, 21 people watching. Hello, everyone. Today's topic is something a little bit different. The phone line is open already. Give me a second. Let me put that in the chat. So today's topic is, who are you living for? Who are you living for? For real, for real. Are you, so many people put on a front, like the outside is diamonds and pearls and everything is all good, but they're not truly happy. They're not living a life they want to live because they're always worried about what their parents will think or their friends will think, society, and they're not happy. There are a lot of people who don't even travel. They don't travel, they don't move outside the country. And I understand it. You think about, well, what if my mother and father, if you have a relationship with them, what if they get old? Who's going to take care of them? I can't just leave them. Stuff like that does happen. But some people want to leave. Some people want to move out the country, maybe just for a little bit, have an experience. And they don't even move out the country because they're worried about what their parents will think, or they don't. I mean, if they can't afford it, if you can afford it and want to take certain risks. So who do you really live your life for? There are a lot of people, no matter how old they get, where they still, you might want an outfit and you still might think, does my mom like that outfit? Would she diss me because of it? And it's something that you want to wear, but you're always worried about the next person's opinion and everything like that. Or I could use interracial dating as an example. You know how many people, I've seen so many comments on videos on TikTok of people who said they didn't interracially date with somebody they were interested in because their family was racist. I'm like, so you're telling me that you have a family of evil people who are hateful, and you won't be with the love of your life who you have to wake up next to, who will be in your life, who you will have kids with. You're not going to be with them because of your family. Are you serious? So instead of thinking, how do I fix the problem, or can these people be helped? I don't care if they're related. Oh, I'm not going to date interracially because my mother and father don't like this race. So did it ever occur to you something's wrong with your mother and father? Or you're telling me, to me, that's some punk weak stuff. It's weak. I'm not letting nobody tell me who I can be with because it's my life. I'm the one who has to live it. I'm the one, when I get up in the morning and when I'm sick, I'm with them. It doesn't make sense to me, but you would be shocked how many people are like this. I've seen it a lot of people saying the interracial dating one is a great example, because you're not going to date somebody and be happy because you got a family of effing racists who are evil, not good people. And you feel they got to fit in. Well, maybe we ain't got to fit in. Did it ever occur to you? Maybe we don't have to fit in. Maybe I don't want to fit in. Maybe I don't need your validation. Maybe I don't need to suck up to you. Maybe I don't want to be around your evil butt, your racist, hateful self. If you got a group of family members who won't approve your partner, get rid of your family members. Oh, you can't make the choice? So you rather be with a bunch of evil, nasty, hateful people than actually live the life that you want to live because of them. You better, child, please. I don't think so. It's not happening for me. Nobody in my family will ever have a say on who I decide to spend my life with. It ain't happening. They ain't earned the right. And even if they did, it still wouldn't be happening because I'm the one who has to wake up next to them. I'm the one who going to give them my last name. I'm the one who going to have kids with them. I'm the one, when I'm sick, they going to be there for me. Not you. This is my life, not yours. I don't live my life for you. I don't worry about what the next woman or man is doing as far as what degree you got, what kind of job you got. I'll congratulate you. I'm not worried about what you're doing because it's my life. My life is moving at a certain pace. I ain't got time to be going crazy in competition or sad and moping around. Oh, such and such got this and that. That ain't my business. I'm happy for you. I'm living my life for me, and my life is moving at a certain pace because this is my life. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see. Blue Evil Splash says, meanwhile, my coworker hasn't spoken to his father because his daughter isn't fully white. Are you serious? Get rid of them people. I don't give a damn if they related or not. It's good to cut them off. Cut off evil people. I know it's hard for some of y'all to accept your family members are evil, but they are. A number of them aren't good people. Cut them off. Cut them off. Sometimes you got to cut them off and make a new family. Giovanni says, I'm living for myself and for money and myself. You know, I refuse to live my life being unhappy to please somebody else. That's not what life is supposed to be. And the fact that you won't talk to your relative because they aren't fully white, are you serious? That person ain't even fully white their damn selves if they got a DNA test, I guarantee you. You see what people worry about? Dumb stuff. Dumb stuff. Shit. Technically, all the girl had to do was mate with somebody white, or her kids mate with somebody white, and then they become white again. That happens all the time. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is hot as I don't know what. So the phone line is open. Anybody want to call in? Tell me, who are you living for? Who do you live your life for? Do you live your life worrying about what your parents think constantly? Or what your friends around you think constantly? Or are you your own person, your own boss, your own individual? Do you do what you want to do that makes you happy and not someone else? That's the way to live. I mean, if it's nothing crazy, if you ain't into something that's hurting people or something, but you want to travel, you are into certain type of movies, you like a certain race of person. I know some people will even bring up the gender stuff if you like the same gender and all that. At the end of the day, it's your life. At the end of the day. And no one else's. And I don't believe I need to be miserable to please anybody else. And I will cut anybody off, relatives or not, who I feel are evil. Why would I have someone evil in my life just because they're related to me? Why would you have your children around them? But you got a lot of people who are who feel bound to their family, like some sort of cult. They don't have an identity outside of them. And some of your family members don't even like you. Oh yeah, just because y'all related don't mean nothing. They're still people at the end of the day. I know I ain't gonna say that. Some of y'all family members don't like y'all. And y'all know it. And it's okay. You ain't got to like me. Because I'm gonna be fine anyway. Especially if you weren't in my life anyway. I mean, what relationship is there like that? You never was like that, a friend to me like that. So, but it's sad. It is sad, but what can you do? You don't need to feel like you're in a cult, like you can't escape, or you're the black sheep of the family. So damn what? Don't apologize for who you are. And if they call you weird or treat you like somebody off the damn street, cut them off. Cut them off. Cut them off. It's not very hard, especially if they never liked you anyway. And you'll be free. True freedom is being able to live the life that makes you happy without apologizing. Now, don't get me wrong. If you into some freaky deaky stuff that hurts children or something, I can't support that. You know what I mean. But overall, just, you're into certain type of art. You're into certain type of music. Maybe you're a little eccentric with your clothing. You like to travel. You like to solo travel. And people tell you don't do that. You crazy. You got to be careful. You like certain races of men or women and they keep bothering you. Who gives a damn? I don't live my life for you. Who are you? You ain't got to agree. I don't give a damn what you think, especially when it comes to my love life. I'm not letting nobody tell me who I can love and who I can be attracted to. I don't have to explain a damn thing to you. I don't give a damn if you call me a self-hater 100 times. I don't give a damn. I'll be that. All right, so nobody's calling. I'm trying to think of how I can. I mean, I could tell y'all in the community section, but that also takes work to get that together ahead of time when these lives will pop up. I don't have a newsletter type of thing, and I know y'all all not watching your emails. Um, I just pop up on here with the video. Hold on for a second. Okay, so does anyone want to call? If not, I'm going to end the live. I pretty much sent my message. You don't need to worry about what people always think, even your own family members, even your parents. You're not your parents. You learn things from your parents. You get certain traits from your parents. You get certain um, things from your parents. Thank you, Allah. You says yes, Cerebral, you're reaching. Okay. You get certain traits from your parents. I have certain traits from my parents, but am I fully 100% my parents? No. I have beliefs and different ways about me. That's just who I am. I'm an individual. I'm still a person. And that's what people forget when they got kids. Your kids are people. I am not you. Yes, I might pick up on some of your traits a little bit, but that doesn't mean I will agree with all of them. I don't have to agree with things you do that's wrong just because you're mommy and daddy. Oh, I got a call. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hello. Hey, girl.
So this is another one in the group chat. I just wanted to share. So I forget what the medical term of it is called, but there's been a study that shows that because they even did this study on mice, even though it's been happening to people throughout generations and eons of time. But there's a study that was done that shows that if the mother experiences like trauma over an extended period of time, that trauma actually leaves a marker in her DNA. And then whenever she has children, that marker is embedded in the children's DNA too, even though they didn't specifically first-handedly go through the trauma. And I relate that to us. Our mothers and the generations of our mothers before us were forced into psychological, mental, emotional, physical damage and trauma that a lot of us all over the globe. Because I don't do the picking of the race stuff, but all over the globe, we've all experienced different types of traumas on different levels, and we pass those genetic markers down into the DNA of our offspring, of our progeny. And so I can even in studying and looking back in history, I don't even see a time or recall a time when we weren't treated as property, when we weren't treated as a possession. So even with the daughters were brought up in the household to learn how to serve the father, just like the mother did, or learn how to serve her siblings, her brothers, or her uncles, or whomever. So we've been programmed not to care for ourselves. We've been programmed not to have an identity out of the three titles that were in ways forced upon us, meaning mother, sister, daughter. Those are titles. Those are not the totality of a being. And we're forced to either be everyone's mother, everyone's sister, or everyone's daughter in the capacity of serving everyone but ourselves. I came up with a saying. It bubbled up in my soul and my spirit many years ago, that what happened to us in a nutshell was, keep that bee busy with everything but herself. So we are finally in a time, in a space, in a place where we can own ourselves, and it's going to take time for us to get those genetic trauma markers out of us to own ourselves.
I'm confused. These genetic trauma, is it something physical? I mean, what exactly is it, and how do you recognize it in you? I mean, give me an example.
Well, it's actually it's psychological traumas from the medical data that they did on the mice, which comes through and expresses itself in the physical. Meaning that if you grow up in a household and all you see your mother doing is fulfilling the role of a mother, you're not going to think or feel or have time to analyze and say, do I need to sit down right now? Do I need to just go for a walk and be in nature? How is my mental health? How is my physical health? We've been programmed to run ourselves ragged to serve everyone else and never serve ourselves. Say, for instance, growing up, I remember I would see my mother. She would make her husband's plate first, then she would serve all of us children, and then she would serve herself last. Now, some people would say, okay, that's not so much of a bad thing, but I'm just using that as an example. Even when we have children, we're going to make sure that the children, all of their necessities are met, and then before we even have time to analyze and meet our own necessities, we're exhausted. We don't even have time to do and care for ourselves because we're exhausted. So that's what I'm expressing and explaining.
Okay. So a pattern.
Yes. Mhm. Mhm.
Now, when you mention this trauma, you talking about slavery and stuff.
No, it isn't. It didn't necessarily have to be from like the American chattel slavery in that aspect, because even even the Caucasian women that was in these on these lands that weren't in the chattel slavery, they themselves were still slaves to their husband and their household. They were expected to bear children and as many sons as possible. Yeah. They were still expected to fulfill a certain capacity that had nothing to necessarily do with her and her individuality.
So the patriarchy.
So I don't just yes. So I don't necessarily just link it directly to the American chattel slavery here. That it goes way beyond that, because there's been different women throughout different history, different periods of throughout history, that they themselves were not the slaves in that land. They weren't the chattel property in that land, but they were still property to their husband in that household, and still suffered the same conditions, just in a different aspect. But it still came down to a genetic marker that's programmed into the women throughout our lived experience collectively, that we are to serve everyone and never even contemplate serving ourselves in any capacity. We've all been programmed to be servants to everyone but ourselves.
There's a growing number of women, though, who are saying to be selfish.
Yes, yes. I remember I said to my sister, I said, just like you have two hands with two palms, I said, on one hand you have selfish, and on the other hand you have selfless. I said, through my lived experience, I've been selfless long enough, and I refuse to continue in that accord. I am now going to be selfish. I apologize. there's a truck beside me.
It's
I
okay.
am now going to be selfish. Um, and even my children had to learn to adjust to that. They were thrown for a loop too for, just a little period of time that like, wow, mommy's not doing this and mommy's not doing that, and what's going on with mommy. Um, but then over a course of time, when I brought the evidence to them and I explained to them that what made me flip my wig, and by what I mean by that is when I flipped my switch from off to on and turned on my light bulb, I it was a culmination that I came to the understanding that I did not know who I was outside of being mother, sister, daughter.
Okay.
And until one is willing to go walk about with themselves, then you're not going to be of any service to yourself, but you will always be an indentured service to everyone else.
You know, there was a guy I knew. He got mad at me because I said if I had kids, I deserve a mommy day where if I want to travel somewhere and I can get a babysitter or have my mom watch the kids if I just want to go somewhere. And he said that's wrong. That I gotta watch my kids forever.
That part. That part.
Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to leave them, but damn, can I go somewhere? I want to go somewhere.
Well, and that's also what I meant by keep that bee busy with everything but herself. Um, a lot of men in a lot of lands know that the vast majority. I'm not going to speak in an absolute here and brush everybody with the same paintbrush, but the vast majority of women, when they have children, they allow themselves to be bonded to that child, and not in a negative way, but aspects of it can come out in an unhealthy way for her because then she is put in the coffin of a title of I'm mother and I'm only mother. Um, Even with dealing with my mother, when I became, older and more seasoned and mature within myself, I had to take a step back and understand that a lot of issues that I thought that were issues that or problems that I had with her was because I was not allowing myself to see her as a full, total being outside of mother. Meaning you were your own person before you chose to give birth to anyone. You had a whole life of your own. You had aspirations of your own. You had dreams of your own. You had things that you wanted to fulfill for yourself. They had nothing to do with children. And that was something that I had to break down to my children, especially one of my daughters. That look, I am your mother, and I'm always going to be your mother. But you all are of the age that is no longer needed for me to breastfeed y'all anymore. I am going to go and evolve and grow myself and find out what I like and what I don't like, what I want and what I don't want, what I want to achieve. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when that bee is kept busy with everything but herself, she doesn't have time to expand herself. And we've been matter of fact, I said this to someone the other day. I said it to my sister about one of her girlfriends. She has 9 children, and they're all pretty much like back to back to back to back to back, right? And I said, you know what? In analyzing us as a collective, I realized that a lot of us subconsciously, meaning unknowingly to yourself, subconsciously, we've been so programmed to be this mother archetype that when when the youngest child gets of an age, say around 5 or 7, right? Something in us shifts that, oh, they're growing up and they don't necessarily need me in the capacity that they needed me in when they were younger than 5. So subconsciously, I've witnessed how a lot of women will go and get pregnant again to have a child because in essence that child subconsciously on a psychological biological level, that child, we've been programmed to use the children to keep us hostage, from growing ourselves. As
It
long
keeps
as
them
we keep
busy,
pushing
something to
out
do.
something to do other than going home to, and by I mean going home, going within themselves, and growing their self.
Even with black women as the race soldier thing, always worrying about fighting for random black men no matter what he did, instead of working on black women or working on herself. Always being the
That part.
sacrifice.
That part.
Because
And we
she's
have been
bored.
programmed
She
to be
wants to
the
feel
sacrificial
important.
lamb.
She wants to feel important, a part of the community, like she's doing something to help save them.
She wants to feel needed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That if I'm not needed, it is meaning she is something within her psyche subconsciously that if I'm not providing a care in some capacity to someone other than myself, because God forbid that. If I'm not providing a care to someone else other than myself, then I feel as if I am non-essential.
Okay.
But thank greatness, these younger generations of young ladies are not on that wavelength. They're not on that wavelength. Meaning like the children of like say like I don't know everybody the Gen Zs and all, I don't know what the name of it is, but say like the children from like the mid to late 90s, 1990s to present, and I'm actually proud of them. I am actually proud of them. Now do I tip my hat off to everything that they're doing? No, because some of it is nonsense and some of it is just them being lost, right? Mm-hmm. But meaning the ones that are willfully in a cognizant way saying, you know what, I don't want to have children. Like people, especially a lot of women, they think that that's sacrilege to hear another woman say, I don't want children. Yeah. Like that is the epitome of
You get roasted bad.
Yes. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Just because, she's still in her youth and does not want to flush her youth down the toilet because she wants to get to know herself and know when she's ready to have children and in what capacity she wants to bring those children up. Y'all demonize them? I don't get it.
I've seen the women on TikTok showing the hate messages they get from people saying that you're a waste of a woman for doing that.
That part.
It's like, well, why would you want somebody to have a mother that didn't want them? She might abuse the damn child because she didn't want the damn baby. People shouldn't be. Yeah, they shouldn't be forced. People shouldn't be forced to have kids they don't want because the child's gonna suffer.
And a lot of it still goes back to religion, where they try to use that scripture talking about a tree that doesn't bear fruit, chop it down. And it's like, wait a minute, but that tree is still producing oxygen. That tree is still producing shade. That like really like, and that's what I mean, that we've been forced into these titles, which are really coffins of 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 motherhood, mother, sister, daughter. You got to be serving someone in some capacity other than yourself. And my hat's off to these younger ladies. They're taking time to educate themselves. They're taking time to nourish themselves. They're taking time to develop and to grow themselves internally, to know what they want, what they don't want, what they like, what they don't like, what they're willing to accept, and what they're willing to walk away from.
Yep, because especially when it comes to men, because to a lot of men, we're just disposable. We ain't nothing but punani to them. They don't give a damn what happens to us. They don't give a damn. A large portion of them, and then you end up opening your legs. He took it. You end up pregnant, maybe get a disease, whatever. He don't give a damn. And then you left just there. I mean, child.
And now that we are coming out of that don't know. They're lost. They're lost. They don't know how to. Wait a minute. She doesn't think or feel or operate that she's here to only serve me, and she only exists because I exist. Like they don't know how to take it. They don't know how to take it.
Yeah, they're having fits, having podcasts, all types of stuff about it, saying a woman can't be fulfilled without us. I mean, some women are fine without a man. I would, I wouldn't want to die alone. I don't have a problem saying that I want my husband and stuff like that. But if it don't happen, what I'm supposed to do? Men act like we don't choose, the man chooses. And if you're not the right one, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to be miserable just so I can say I'm married. You ain't even the person for me.
Yeah.
And that happens
When,
a
when,
lot.
when I,
A lot of women are married to the wrong men.
yes. And
Just
only because of the programming that we're told that we're supposed to be married.
miserable marriages, and
Other
even
and
some men.
people have to take the time and understand that the first one that you're supposed to marry is yourself. You're not supposed to marry anyone outside of yourself until you marry yourself and commit to yourself. And when I came into learning the difference between a desire, a need, and a want, a desire and a want is not a need. A need is a necessity. We need sunlight. We need water. We need clean food. We need somewhere to have a safe haven. Those are necessities. If you do not have those things, you will most assuredly perish. Sex and being in a relationship with someone other than yourself is not a necessity. It's a desire and it's a want. And so many people are willing and have been programmed and swallowed the Kool-Aid to to seek out head over freaking heels to seek out desire and want before understanding what a necessity is and making sure that you have your necessities covered before you venture off into, oh, I like this, I want that, I desire that. Ain't nobody never perished from not having a desire or a want fulfilled. But those are just my thoughts. I appreciate you letting me come up here and
Listen,
hear my.
you said a lot. I mean, you are changing lives with what you said. You said a lot of stuff that is amazing to me. That will help someone. A lot of women needed to hear this, and some men.
Very true. Very true. Because men, I agree with you. I agree with you because men have even been hurt and damaged by other men's ideology of what life is supposed to be, and what is the core erect way to live life. And I feel like because of that ideology being forced not only down our throats but by down their throats, that is the reason why so many of them are handicapped on so many levels. What I don't need to learn how to cook. What I need to learn how to cook for, that's what my wife is made for. Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't even need to learn how to nourish yourself, but you claim to be the head.
Well, something happened to her,
I don't
but
think
what you gonna do? If she end up with a stroke, what you gonna do? You got to take care of her.
No, it has actually been proven that a lot of women, whether they're elderly or even if they're still middle aged, a lot of women when they become sick, and I mean like truly for real, I don't mean like a cold, I mean like sick, and she has maybe some kind of terminal illness or she has cancer or like whatever. When she truly becomes sick and her life is on the line, the vast majority of men leave those women. It is the women who will stay by a man that is terminally ill and or sick until he either becomes healthy again and or he transitions.
That's just heartbreaking, isn't it? Imagine your man leaving you. I wouldn't know what to do. My whole world would be destroyed. I would be very upset. Call me bitter, whatever you want to. The fact that my man could leave me when I'm sick, I wouldn't forgive it. I wouldn't
It's
forgive it.
true though. It happens on so many levels. They leave them and go find the next youngest thing that they can find that's willing to accept them, and they bull crap, and bada bing, there you go.
You know,
So it.
hmm
Mhm.
you had me
A lot
thinking.
of men have been handicapped by that. They have been handicapped by that ideology. Um, that they don't. That the only thing they're supposed to do is go to work and bring some money home. When life is so much more than that.
I agree.
A lot of men are more underdeveloped than the women are. They
Oh,
are.
yes, yes. You know what I would tell women? What's left when the penis no longer works and the children have left? Once the penis has stopped working and them kids have moved out, what's left? Y'all relationship.
You know everybody back.
Okay? Because that's going to happen to a lot of them. They penis going to stop working eventually. You ain't getting laid no more. Your kids now moved out. Now you stuck with his ass. And is it truly a relationship that you could deal with? Are you truly happy once that goes away? Ask yourself
That
that.
part. That part. And it's gonna make a lot of women sit back and analyze, like truly analyze and see that even the phallus has been weaponized against us. Sex has been weaponized against us. Truly. 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 Because we've been programmed to become addicted to it. We've been programmed that, you know, that's what he represents. And that's what I'm supposed to get from him. And it's like he's a whole total being outside of having sex. Ain't nobody developing any other aspect of themselves but their lower nature. And it's like, come on, please, everybody, grow within in order to grow up. In order to grow up, you got to grow within yourself first so that you can grow up.
Listen, Raining Woman in the chat says this sister is dropping many gems that need to be heard. I don't even want to take away from it. She said a mouthful that can be marinated on.
I greatly appreciate you, great one. Just know that all of this came from lived experience. Not me reading some book, not me watching no movie, not me um, reading some newspaper. All of this came from a hard lived experience. And when I hit rock bottom, and I say this not to boast about myself. This is just the strength of the blood that I come from, the cloth that I was cut from. When I hear some people, a lot of people, when they hit rock bottom, they shatter like a vase. You drop that vase on the ground and it shatters, it splinters it out into 10,000 pieces. I was just cut of the cloth that when I hit rock bottom, I stood bolt upright and I said, not me and not mine. And that's when I went on my journey called walkabout. I went walkabout in the wilderness, metaphysically, with myself. Mm. And I had to analyze, what is it within me, not outside of me? What is it within me that man is threatened about? And I had to come to that deduction. Because of how many generations and eons, ages of time that they have kept the woman busy, that busy bee, busy with everything but herself.
So many men are jealous of women.
Yeah, they are. They are. They are. But when I took the time and I sat back and I thought about this, I mean, I sat with myself for many years. And I analyzed and I said, well, wait a minute. Say from the 1950s, I'm going to say the 1950s, maybe up to the 1960s, right? But if we say going backwards from now it's 2023, right, 2020s, going back to the 1950s, that's only 70 years, almost 75 years, right? I said, before this 75-year period, that woman was expected, demanded, and commanded to go directly from her father's house to her husband's house. She was
property.
And that's when everything started. It was like the floodgates opened inside me. I said, that little girl's father and the generations of the women that lived, because my mother was born in 1954. Okay, I said that generation of women from the 1950s and then going backwards, they were their fathers programmed them how to take care of their future husband. She was programmed by her father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't say this to demonize or to castigate any father. I don't. I'm just talking about a generalization of what I learned from actually sitting down with myself and analyzing what is it inside of me that they are afraid of that I am cognizant not of. And that's when the floodgates opened.
Your strength. And I don't use that word often, but the strength, your mental strength, persevering, that you love you and that you don't suck his, you ain't on his nutsack,
Yep. Yep.
you know.
Yep.
And men love you more when you ain't on their nutsack.
Girl, they will hound you. They will hound you. And I'm like, but you don't even turn me on. You don't even turn you only want me because I don't want you. How Lauryn Hill put it in one of her songs way back in the day. Um, we we want what we don't need, and we no how did it go? We want what we don't need, and we don't want what we need. The men are only turned on by my strength because I don't need them. That's what turns them on. And they go about like in an obstacle course trying to figure out how can I get her to come back into bondage, meaning how can I get her to come back into seeing me, man, as her savior. That's really what they be trying to figure out. How can I get her to look at me and desire me and want me in her life in the capacity of being her savior? Maybe you can't because I already done saved myself.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm. Damn. Damn, damn, damn.
So it's
Listen.
not even being with me or trying to be with me on a genuine level. It's about how can I get her to need me? I don't need you. Why would you want me to need you? You should want me to just want you and that be enough.
Yes. Yes. Listen, you.
Children.
I have to. I wanna. I
Children.
wanna. I wanna. Call someone who had called. Didn't give them a chance. Listen, you had dropped some girl. You told nothing but the truth. Yo, somebody's life has been changed listening to this. You told nothing but the damn truth.
Great many Beyonce rerun ladies and great night, y'all. And
Thank
power
you.
and enlightenment and love to all of y'all.
Thank you so much, girl. Thank you.
I'm going back to listen.
All right. Bye. I had a call from Louisiana, somewhere I've always wanted to actually visit. I've wanted to go to the Essence Festival in Louisiana. I'm a little bit scared of Louisiana, a little bit, what I hear about that voodoo that be going on over there. I'm not saying it's true. I ain't saying it's 100% true. But okay, give me a second. I'm calling you back. Give me one quick second. What a wonderful call. I mean, damn, she gave us so much knowledge. So much knowledge. I hope y'all was really listening to her. Taking what she said.
Hello.
Hi, this is Cerebral.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm glad to. I'm doing good. I'm glad to called. I was going to talk on this subject because this is really like a good subject to have, like living for yourself. Because
Yes.
it's like you gotta really take a look at yourself. Like we get like nothing under the world is new, right? Nothing under the sun is new. Like what the same shit that's been happening around this time. The only thing that's different that's happening is technology. So I
Yes.
feel like people are more living for themselves and they're not because they take it, from people that was living in the past. Like in the past, people wasn't happy, and we've seen that.
People were miserable. I mean, times were harder. Women had to be in miserable marriages to depend on the man. So many people were miserable. Food wasn't no food. All types of stuff.
Because no one was really living for themselves. Like, and I feel like this issue extends like past like for everybody. It sees race, women, male, female. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to be happy. Literally, everyone wants to find what's for them.
Yeah, everybody was in survival mode, more hardcore.
Yeah, and now it's like they are taking control of the narrative. And people are upset because you have traditionalists that don't necessarily agree with that whole notion. I don't know. Do you think that makes the world run? The way, just the set way of people? You think that was
Uh,
really a good time?
no and yes. I mean, people will say you gotta have some type of order to keep us from murking each other. Humans by nature, I hate to say this, but just examining history, we have been barbaric without law and order. Um,
Yeah,
I'm not saying
most
we have to
definitely.
live our life 100% following somebody's rules, but without it, I mean, look at the world now. Do you see the world? Do you watch the news? You see what's going on every day? And
Most
this is
definitely.
2023. Imagine what they was doing in the 50s and in the 800 BC when we didn't have the news.
Yeah, and there's no record of it. So it's a very slippery slope, I feel. But that's all I have to say on the topic.
Well, who do you live your life for? Do you live it for yourself, your parents, your friends?
I know for myself, like everyone has to live for themselves. Because if I literally live for what everyone else around me wants, like I won't be happy. And you come in this world by yourself, you don't, you know, leave by yourself. So it's very it's a nuanced topic. Because
So,
some people in other countries do not live for themselves.
no, they can't. It's always about what their parents want. Marrying them off to people they don't even know, they don't even want to get married to. The women, I feel so sorry for them damn women. And even the men, I've seen men who look miserable being forced to marry some random woman. I'm like, when is this going to end? Stop it. What is y'all
And
doing?
men get it worse too because they have to be the breadwinner.
They need to
So
be.
they have to actually go, and it's stressful.
Yeah, but that's his job, damn it. He's a man, and he gonna take care of me. I'm his woman, and I'm gonna take care of him. It's just certain ways of life. The man is the stronger one. He's the hunter. He's the protector, and he gonna take care of his family. He should be. You know.
Yeah, I feel like he should take care of his family, but at the same time, I don't feel like a person should have to deal with all that weight, man or woman. Like I feel like they should have to deal with that weight of having to take care of another person.
Yeah, but women usually carry their weight too in some type of way traditionally. He ain't who's
Yeah,
cooking, cleaning,
emotionally.
washing clothes, taking care of children.
Yeah, emotionally in the house, but outside of the house, there's a lot of like this. People make money so many dirty ways, and you have to try to find that way. Like it's a very nuanced topic. It's not just a set one thing.
Yeah, there are different angles to see things. So All right. So I thank you so much for your call. Thank you. Bye. I love when y'all call in from all around the country. She was from Louisiana, you know. I've had people call me from Africa, from England, the Netherlands. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I love it. So, I guess that's it. I enjoyed these calls. I learned a lot. We all learned a lot. And live your life for you. Don't do things that'll hurt someone. And I understand again, for instance, if I want to move to a different country, it would be great if I'm able to come back and forth so that I can still check on, my mother, my relative, my sibling. Um, I don't like to say too much on here, but excuse me, excuse me, y'all. I like to be able to check on them and stuff, do FaceTime. I would hate it if I lived somewhere else and something happens. I would feel real sad. But it's great when you can keep traveling to see them back and forth and everything like that. When your parents get older, if you have a good relationship, you do think about them. Who's going to take care of them when they get old? I can't let nothing happen to them. What am I going to do if they're all alone? They need me. Especially when you have a good relationship with them. You know, you got to make it work. You know, some parents tell you, though, you got to live your life. I live my life. Now you got to live your life. You know, I am, like the first caller said, I am my own individual. You're your own individual too. You can't live your life. I mean, you got to go out and live life. You can't just stay stuck. You know, they want you to live. Some parents are selfish and don't want you to, but there are also parents that tell you, go and move, go do it, do it, do it. Because I didn't get to do it. I want you to do it. Look, Miss V says, live for yourself because in the end, all you got is you. Girl. Let me repeat what you just said. Envy says, live for yourself because in the end, all you got is you. Oh my God. Like, even with traveling, I don't believe, I wouldn't want to have to wait on people to go somewhere. I would do solo travel because if people cancel, I'm going to be upset. Like, I'm not going to not go to this place because you ain't going. I'm going. Even if I was in a relationship, if I have plans to go somewhere, I ain't letting no man stop me from traveling. I mean, he can come along, but if I said, listen, I want to go to Belize, it's on my list, I've been saving for it, I'm going to Belize. Now, you can come along, plan it out, but I'm not being stopped from going to Belize. It's been on my wish list forever. My life ain't stopping. You can join and be a part of my life, but I'm not going to not see the world or be happy because of you. And you got some men out there who are jealous when a woman does everything she said she would do. They start hating on you, all types of stuff. I've seen it. And, again, the interracial thing. You really gonna let your parents or your family members tell you who you can love? Are you serious? Who? I don't think so. Nah, I don't. I'm not doing it. It ain't happening with me. I'm not doing that. I'm not. You don't control me. You don't tell me who to love. You don't tell me who to like. You need to fix yourself in your racism because it's a nasty trait. So that's how I feel. So I thank you all for joining me with this conversation. And thank you so much. If you are new, honey, over here, then I would like you to press all notifications when you subscribe so you'll know when I go live and when I upload. I thank you so much for calling me. The calls were amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Y'all take care.